Hello, Landmarkians. Today I am in a swap meet. This is De Silva and another person, a husband and wife team, I'm assuming. They have a claim that they've set, or their claims, all of them, have set up as a swap meet. The one place here is where I usually get a copy of the current version of microvoxels and voxel shapes. They have a board up now called Ultimate. I'm going to call it Generation 9 because sooner or later somebody will make changes and additions to it. The best thing about this place, though, is the swap meet area, which is these other two claims that they have. The Black Rose Swap. What it is basically is people come along and drop off templates over here in this empty area where the voxel board is. And the silver will place them over here in the swap meet area as demonstration models. But because of problems with permissions, you can't just go in there and copy what you want, because copy permissions also includes destroy commissions, and people have been known to come along and just wipe out swap meets and take all of the stuff and destroy it and take the material, although most of the stuff is made out of sand or dirt, so they don't really gain anything by it except to grief the owners of the swap meet. So you would come here and drop off a swap meet item here in this empty area, and if you wanted something that was available over here in the demonstration area, you could you know send a tell to De Silva, and they would put the item, a copy of the item, over here for you to template, and then you would be able to get it. But that's rather slow. Everyone is hoping that at some point in time the developers will modify the permissions for claims so that you can actually have items, you can template the items without actually being able to actually have the permissions to destroy them as well. But swap meets are pretty good. You can get a lot of decent items. As you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff around, bits and pieces that you can use in your build. I like there's some small rooms, the roofs, uh, you know, places like that. You can use these templates, and then, if you don't like the material, you can always swap the material. Instead of using stone, change it to marble or ruby or whatever. Uh, wood textures, different wood textures. I like the roof. The um, the thing is, you can get ideas from this, but a lot of these aren't necessarily in the size or dimensions that you want for your particular build. So, until they make some sort of changes where you can scale in the XYZ axis, the voxels, they're, a lot of these templates, are just good for ideas, except for these things like these inlay patterns on the walls, which, are pretty decent. You can use these pretty much anywhere, and the size that they are in. So, except for the griefers, currently swap meets are pretty cool places to go. You can get some decent stuff and ideas about things that you can use. Of course, the problem being there's griefers, and then there's the people who think that um, swap meets, because they're giving away templates for free, are going to ruin player studio capabilities for themselves and others who plan to try to sell templates in the player studio. Now, I don't think that's going to be a big deal, because the templates that are available in swap meets, like, say for instance these sculptures and stuff, these are not going to be the things people are going to pay in Player Studio for. For one reason, some are like Pikachu here. This is intellectual property of another company, so they're not going to be available for Player Studio no matter what. And a lot of these things are just bits and pieces, and people are, they're going to use them for ideas, but man, that's not a bad fireplace there. Things like that, can be used in builds, but nobody's going to put them in the Player Studio and make, $100,000 a year off of them. That's just not going to happen. So there's no reason for people to complain about the swap meets as ruining the game as far as Player Studio goes. Player Studio is going to be where you're going to find people who make props using outside traditional modeling software, and where people purchase like large building templates for mansions and stuff in one swipe to be able to put a mansion on their claim without having to do months and months worth of building. Now here we got voxelized furniture, which is nice, but it's not going to be the kind of detail you're going to get in props, which also can be scaled up and down and resized as needed. I'm hoping that they will have that ability for voxelized items at some point, but still the texture and the detail is not going to be there because we're playing with 10 by 10 by 10 inch voxels approximately, and even smoothing them and micro voxels and stuff are not going to give you the type of detail and marketplace desirability of items. I mean, they're cool and they're nice to make and all, but they're not going to be of any type of real high demand. Now, of course, this floor here of the swap meet seems to have staircases and such, which isn't too bad. I like these. Some of these staircases are decent, and if you're not somebody who can make these things on you're not a voxel artist like me. Making these staircases, isn't easy, but so coming to a swap meet and getting a template for them can be handy. There's looks like these are towers with stairs in them. Yeah, different types. So yeah, these are templates that you could use, and you can copy and put in your builds if you're building a. Whoops, I missed that. I am not the best jumper in the world. My grappling hook skills are the worst. Is there a way to get around all these things? I don't really fit. There we go. I can fit through there. But oh, there we go. Swap meet sign. But until they fix the permissions where you can come to a swap meet and just copy things as you need instead of having to ask the proprietor for permission and having the items moved over into a area to copy, swap meets right now are a little difficult to run for the proprietors. It's just because the griefers come along and just erase everything just out of spite and being mean. So that's not there. Used to be, I don't see it there. The other day when I was here, there was stuff over in this claim here, but it looks like it's just a big hole now. Yeah, apparently either they may have erased all the stuff that was in there and just left this up. there was been arguments and fights about swap meets and stuff. If I was you know had a heads up or knew exactly how they were going to work the permissions and stuff on these things, swap meets wouldn't be bad if they had it set up you could copy the things but not destroy them. Have the ability to destroy them. Then it would be a lot better to be able to have a swap meet up. Right now, it's all looking. If you want something, you have to ask permission, and they can temporarily let you copy things or move it to where you can copy it. But you can see there's quite a bit of stuff here. This is not what was here the other day when I was here, so they do change what's available on the floors. But anyway, that's my rant about swap meets, and the people who grief the owners of them. I think it's a great idea. I do see probably maybe a possibility that it could be a problem in the future if, like, you get something for free at a swap meet and you use it in your template for something you sell in Player Studio. Do you get the money for the item, or does the person who created the template you used for free get a cut? I'm sure that that's some problem for the developers as well that they will have to work out. If you use a free swap meet template as part of your Player Studio sold item, who gets the money? So, but yeah, these swap meets, I like them because you can pick out things like furniture and stuff is pretty decent to get at a swap meet. You could use this in different builds, because right now the props are not a lot of props, but I expect as the game goes live, props will become quite a bit more, as well as people building them in traditional modeling software and putting them in the Player Studio for people to buy. So there will be a lot more in the way of props to use, and voxelized furniture will not be as usable in your builds because props are a lot better looking than the voxelized stuff. So anyway, that's it for today. This is my tour of the Black Rose swap, and I hope everybody enjoyed my rant. It's a little bit overboard, but that's the way it goes sometimes. See you next time at the next tour.